All right, buckle up, because today we're diving into one of the wildest horror movies of the year, Popeye the Sailor Man. Yeah, you heard that right. They turned the classic cartoon into a gory, over-the-top slasher, and somehow it actually works. This movie is so ridiculous, so unhinged, that it keeps you watching just to see how much worse it can get. So grab your popcorn and let's get into it. We open in a fog-covered seaside town. It's late at night, the streets are deserted, and in the distance, we hear the sound of waves crashing against the docks. A woman named Adrienne is sprinting through the mist, her breath ragged, her eyes darting around in terror. She clutches her side, stumbling slightly. She's been running for a while. Behind her, two men are in pursuit. They move fast, their footsteps echoing in the emptiness. One of them glances around nervously. He's heard the stories about this place. The other man, he laughs it off. You really think a fairy tale is gonna stop me? Adrienne spots a rusted cannery in the distance, its massive metal doors looming like the mouth of a beast. Without hesitation, she breaks the lock and shoves her way inside. The moment she does, the air feels wrong, thick with dust and something else, something rotten. She presses herself against the cold metal walls, trying to quiet her breathing. The bad men follow her in, cocky, thinking they've got her trapped. But then, something moves in the shadows. The camera lingers on a massive figure, half hidden in the darkness. He's impossibly broad, his arms like tree trunks, his breathing slow and deliberate. The only thing we can clearly see is his one bulging eye, staring unblinking through the dim light. One of the men takes a step forward, and then a can of spinach rolls across the floor. The sound is deafening in the silence. Before they can react, the figure explodes out of the darkness. In a flash, he tears the first man in half, blood spraying across the rusted machinery. The second man doesn't even get a chance to scream. His head is crushed like a watermelon, his body collapsing to the floor. Adrienne stares in horror. The hulking man steps into the light, his skin grayish and stretched, his jaws twitching unnaturally. She stammers out, "It's a monster." And then, in a deep, guttural voice, he says the first words of the movie, "I am what I am." The story shifts to Dexter, an aspiring filmmaker obsessed with urban legends. He's working on a documentary about the Sailor Man, the supposed monster that haunts the old cannery. His best friend Olivia is helping him, and their friend group tags along: Lisa, Seth, and Katie. Most of them don't believe the story, but they're here for the thrill. At a local bar, an old, grizzled fisherman tells them the legend. The cannery has been abandoned for 20 years, and every few years, someone disappears near the docks. The bartender warns them, the sea ain't the only thing that swallows people whole. Meanwhile, a businessman named Mr. Allister meets with Margot, a buyer for the cannery property. The place has been unsellable for years due to contamination issues, something about the old spinach factory, and the unsafe conditions. But before they can even shake hands, Margot freezes. She smells something strange. Pipe smoke. Mr. Allister frowns, looking around. Then, a deep, disturbing breath from the shadows. They find what's left of the men from the opening scene. Their bodies are mangled beyond recognition, the blood smeared across the walls like someone painted with it. Before they can even react, a massive shadow falls over them. Mr. Allister barely has time to scream before his skull is crushed like a grape. One by one, the bodies start piling up. Ignoring the warnings, Dexter and his friends arrive at the abandoned cannery that night. The moment they step inside, it's clear something is wrong. The air is thick with dust and something metallic, something almost like blood. They split up to explore, laughing at first. But then Lisa finds something strange. An old rusted can of spinach, its label peeling, but otherwise untouched. The moment she picks it up, the sound of heavy footsteps echoes through the factory. Meanwhile, Margot arrives, annoyed at the sight of the parked cars. She steps inside, muttering about stupid kids. But the moment she enters, she steps in something wet. When she looks down, she realizes it's blood. She barely has time to react before a massive hand wraps around her head. She struggles, but it's useless. In a moment of pure brutality, the sailor man rips a chunk of her scalp off and throws her into an industrial compactor. The machine roars to life, and before she can crawl out, it crushes her body like a soda can. Inside, Dexter and Olivia stumble upon a hidden room. It's filled with old photos and rusted belongings. Then, they find a family portrait. Before the mutation, the sailor man was human. His name was Popeye, and he had a wife, Olive Oil. She was a whistleblower exposing the contamination scandal. After breaking the story, she vanished without a trace. Then, the door creaks open. The sailor man steps inside, holding a glowing can of spinach. His muscles twist and expand grotesquely as he devours it. The contaminated spinach has completely destroyed his mind. As the group ventures deeper into the abandoned factory, Popeye's relentless massacre continues. One by one, he brutally slaughters Mia's remaining friends in horrifying ways, leaving only Dexter, the filmmaker, and his girlfriend alive. Desperate for answers, the two hide in Popeye's underground bunker, digging through old records and disturbing artifacts that reveal the truth about the infamous sailor. That's when the shocking realization hits. Dexter's girlfriend is actually Sweet Pea, Popeye's long-lost daughter. As she processes this revelation, she confronts Popeye, pleading with him to stop. She tells him that the spinach he consumes is corrupting his mind, turning him into a monster. But before Popeye can react, Joey storms in, trying to take him down. But Popeye is unstoppable. Without hesitation, he brutally kills Joy in a grotesque and merciless fashion. Amid the chaos, Dexter and Sweet Pea make their escape, running through the dark corridors of the factory as sirens blare in the distance. The police arrive, swarming the scene, but there's no sign of the monstrous sailor. Just when it seems like it's over, Sweet Pea looks up at the shattered window of the factory. There he is, Popeye, standing ominously, staring down at her. His message is clear. He isn't leaving. He isn't stopping. In the final scene, Mr. Allister, who thought he had escaped, kicks an old can of spinach near the docks. He smirks, thinking the nightmare is over. Then, a massive shadow looms behind him, and we both know what will happen to him now. And that's a wrap on Popeye's Revenge. What did you think of this crazy movie? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want more wild breakdowns, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Stay safe, and, maybe avoid the spinach.